Good morning. Welcome to our daily devotion. It's a new week, Monday, February 15th. I trust you all had a good Valentine's Day yesterday. I don't know what you guys did for your spouses, for your loved ones, for your children, grandchildren, etc. Good morning, Serena. I want to thank those of you that continue to watch these videos, those of you that share them. Morning, John. Some of you are just so loyal. It amazes me. We're in Matthew chapter 9. I'm going to read verses 14 through 17. It says, Then John's disciples came and asked him, How is it that we and the Pharisees fast, but you disciples do not fast? Jesus answered, How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, the wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. Good morning, Roz. Good morning, Ann. So, what's Jesus saying here in these two examples? What was he telling them? What's he telling us? He's basically telling us that he's going to be bringing in a new way of doing things. They didn't realize yet who he was. They didn't know what he was talking about because they still didn't understand. He was going to change an awful lot of things. He was going to change the way they did things, the way they did church, the way they obeyed the law. He was going to give them new commands, new commandments. He was going to change a lot of things. And this is relevant today. I was thinking about this when I was reading these verses, and I was thinking about churches that choose to continue doing things the same old way. What happens to those those churches? Churches have to be willing to do new things. Morning, Edie. They have to be willing to do new. Imagine if Collision would have tried to keep doing things the same old way. We wouldn't exist today if we hadn't started doing these video messages. And as a result of making the changes, as a result of doing the video messages, they've actually had some success reaching people that we would never have reached before. If we were just meeting at Palms or with the two youth groups. We are literally reaching 4 to 5 times as many people with Collision, Impact, and Crash. And we're also getting, listen to this, we're also getting twice the amount with our special offerings, since much comes from people outside of Collision. So, good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Gloria. Good morning, Michelle. Because we were willing to make changes, the church stayed strong and actually got stronger. Now, I know a lot of churches that did not make changes, that continue to do church the same old way, and boy, they are suffering. They are suffering. A lot of them have closed their doors. Ryan says his video's freezing. Is anyone else experiencing the same? Let him know if it's just from his end or if it's something else. So, Sherry is watching. Morning, Sherry. Okay, so others are not, Ryan. Sorry about that. Thank you, Ryan, for your dedication to these videos also. I appreciate it. So a lot of churches did not make changes, and as a result, they've lost people. They're continuing to lose people. I'm concerned, to be honest with you, I'm concerned about the future of the church. I'm very concerned. With this pandemic, I don't know how many churches are going to make it. I don't know how many churches are going to close their doors. I don't know how many churches are going to be able to do things differently to survive. As I told you, I know many churches that have closed their doors already. Churches like ours that were renting spaces. One of the hard things for many churches is they still have to pay staff. And we were fortunate with Collision that we didn't have anybody. There was nobody on payroll. We didn't have any. Everybody was volunteering their time, so we were fortunate. But churches need to make changes just to keep going. But here's why churches choose to just keep doing things the same old way. Number one, because it's easier. It's easier just to do things the same old way. It's hard to make changes, and it's hard to get people to accept changes. When you make changes, you have to slowly make changes to bring the people along with you, because people get set in their ways, and it's a little bit hard to make changes. So you have to slowly make changes. And another problem is, since 70%, they say as many as 70% of pastors don't like being a pastor, then they certainly aren't going to put in the effort that it takes to make changes. They're going to just continue to do things the same old way, because changes is a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of hard work. Prior to the pandemic, I was doing 3 messages a week. Now I'm doing 12 messages a week. So it's more work, but if you're not willing to put the work in, you're probably not going to make it. This is true even for businesses. I was thinking about businesses. I've been in business most of my life, and businesses have to constantly make changes to stay relevant. Those that don't soon end up going out of business. This is why big companies constantly change CEOs to bring in fresh, new, different ideas. And the ones that don't, well, somebody just posted on Facebook, your memory of past businesses that were there when you grew up, like Bullock's and all the different ones that Montgomery Ward, all the different ones that were around when we were growing up that aren't around anymore. Businesses come and go, and one of the reasons they go is because they didn't make the changes necessary to survive. And churches have to do that same thing. So let me just ask, what changes has your church made? Not all of you here watch and go to Collision. Many of you go to other churches. What changes did your church make? What are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with the way your church is being run? Are you satisfied with the leadership of your church? Would you like to see fresh, new ideas in your church? But my guess is the answer to a lot of these questions is yes, that you would like to see some changes made. It's hard. Let me just share this. It is hard. Now, I've been pastoring now Collision for 11 years. It is hard to lead a church that satisfies every age range within the church, to satisfy the senior citizens, to satisfy the older, the middle-aged people, to satisfy young couples, to satisfy teenagers, to satisfy children, especially when you're given a message. How do you do it to where you can reach everybody? It's not that easy. It's not that easy. So it's like a store like Nordstrom's. Are they able to reach all elements of the store? Do you see elderly people in the store? Do you see middle-aged people in the store? Do you see teenagers in the store? That's why many stores today have specialty stores where they specialize towards one age group or 2 age groups rather than trying to reach every age group. Well, churches are kind of forced to do every age group. I can remember years ago, some of the churches that I visited, they would have two different services for the adults. One they would call contemporary and the other traditional. And then they would have a separate service for the college, and a separate service for the high school, and a separate service for the middle school. And that works to a certain extent. The problem with them is getting them to make the shift from one to the next. Hard to get the high school to go into the college, hard to get the college to go into mainstream church. It's not that easy. And so the churches that just stay the same and refuse to make any changes because of the work, they struggle. So Jesus was willing to make major changes, made changes to the Jewish laws. We just saw here where he made the change of fasting. It says John's disciples. This was John the Baptist. John the Baptist was big on fasting, was big on repentance. The religious leaders would fast, as we read earlier in Matthew. They would fast to be seen, so that they would look pale, because everybody would notice that they fasted, and they'd be, oh, look at our leaders are fasting. Jesus comes along now and totally just knocks it off the shelf. No, he says, hey, no need for fasting when I'm among you. There will come a time when I leave, and then you'll be without a leader, and then there'll be time to fast. So Jesus constantly changed it, changed the law, added new things, constantly added new things. A new commandment I give you, a new commandment I give you. All the commandments are wrapped up in this one commandment, constantly making changes. We have to be willing to do the same. So I'm thankful that we as Collision made the changes necessary to survive. I'm sure you're all looking forward to the day when we can all get back together again, whether it be at Palms or wherever God takes us. But I've learned a lot through the whole pandemic. I've learned an awful lot through the pandemic, and I hope that many of you have learned those same things. I know the one thing that I've learned is when we, God willing, when we are able to get back together again, we're going to continue doing the videos, because God wants to reach more than just the people that sit in front of us on a Sunday morning. He wants to reach the people that he's doing today. So we will continue to make changes that are necessary to keep Collision going, to keep Collision strong. And I hope your churches are willing to do the same. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you that continue to share. Tonight we're going to have a special message tonight, as we always do on Monday nights at 7 o'clock. Many of you will join us. And then for those of you that are dedicated to these devotions, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, okay? God bless you. Have a great, great day.